Hello, ho, ho there, everybody. What Culture Wrestling's Adam Clery here. And this year, because I've been such a good boy, I asked Santa for one thing and for one thing only. And that was a news co-host who was on my level in terms of like professionalism, entertainment, attractiveness, the whole shebang. And, well, it's just me, isn't it? I am the only person in the entire What Culture office today. Yes, really, so we're going to have to see how well we get on with the news presented by one person. You have no idea how much I miss Adam Nicholas right now. Anyway, coming up for you today, what have we got? Cody Rhodes talks about the imminent Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. There is injury news on an NXT star. Certain members of the WWE roster have been spotted out and about on the town with their AEW counterparts. Dustin Runnels himself talks about those punches from AEW Dynamite this week, and Kurt Angle keeps the dream alive. But we start with AEW Vice President Cody Rhodes, who took to Twitter this week to basically set the record straight. Now, you may be aware when you watch Dynamite, he's not shy of having the odd poke, of making the odd bit of fun of his counterpart in Connecticut. He often does a rallying cry here and there. He sometimes points out the odd sign in the crowd. And somebody, and I say somebody, he was tweeted by the Rundown Wrestling Network, who described themselves as the intentionally offensive wrestling podcast. Ooh, you're hard. And they said, I know if I worked for a company that paid for my training, made me rich, allowed me to meet my wife, and allowed me and my wife to both quit even though I had a contract, I'd be pissed too, right? And Cody was like, hey buddy, if you actually follow this account, you know that I'm really complimentary, really respectful to WWE, and I literally just gave them the right to use my dad's name in their tag team tourney, which is obviously an interesting one because if you remember last year, they announced the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic not long after the announcement of AEW. There was the feeling amongst the fan base this was perhaps done slightly spitefully on WWE's part, and there wasn't really a tag team story to be told. It just kind of went around the whole DIY revival. The Forgotten Sons got way too far in it, and it kind of just felt like they went, oh, starting your own wrestling promotion, are you? Well, let's see how well you get on while we literally own your dad's name. But Cody has taken the Twitter not only to correct that really, really bad tweet, but to say that actually he kind of understands this. He is working with WWE and allowing them to use his father's name in this way, which is lovely, because in the end of the day, if both companies got on really well, we would get much better wrestling. There would be the potential for them to do things together down the line, which could only make things fun for the fan base. But yes, delighted. Well, no, I'm not delighted. I'm disappointed that wrestlers have to take time out of their day to explain to people that the character they play on television might not be who they really are backstage, even if the lines are getting blurred. But delighted that Cody has been able to set that one straight. Anyway, NXT injury news now. As you know, I am, of course, the NXT man here at What Culture. Hashtag on Thursdays we wear yellow, and on Sundays we wear whatever I was able to pick up off my girlfriend's floor when I was leaving. Anyway, it looks like WWE superstar and NXT superstar Fandango could be out of action for a while. Now, if you recall, he was out on the shelf from July onwards, just returned in July after having nearly a year out when he came in to rescue Tyler Breeze. But he has posted on his Instagram, my dreams of pitching in the MLB, I think that means Major League Baseball, are kinda over. Hashtag Tommy John, hashtag nipple. Now, this is, of course, there were reports on the December 12th episode that both he and when he wrestled the Singh brothers, he had picked up an injury there. It now appears that he has actually picked up an injury there, and he has gone forward into surgery, which is, that ain't good news for Fandango. Breezango were doing good things. Not amazing, they weren't pulling up any trees on NXT, I'm sure you'll agree, but they were doing some good things on NXT. And besides, they haven't really got much of a tag team division there, and as just mentioned, they've announced a tag team tournament they could really have done with Breezango in that. But I will say, not to speculate too much on this, because we don't like to do that, do we? Lol. But did you watch that match between Breezango and the Singh brothers? Fandango was hitting hard. He was stiffing them boys. He was hitting them really, really, really hard. And if it turns out he did pick up an injury in that match, could it potentially be that he was a little bit annoyed that one of them had given him a nick or something halfway through that match? Not for me to speculate. Had to put at least one cut in this video because I'm still really, really ill and had to go blow my nose. And you don't really want to see that, do you? Anyway, one thing that is setting Squared Circle alight today, and possibly most of last night, is this picture which did the rounds and allows me to use the following headline: The Revival have joined AEW. This tag team private party for a night in Brooklyn. Everybody was losing their minds a bit because they did the hashtag tag team wrestling thing. Private party of AEW were pictured with the Revival from WWE, and everyone was like, ooh, friends, ooh, tag team friends, ooh, could they be going to AEW, ooh, but on Squared Circle today, the picture has been widened ever so slightly to reveal two new faces, and they belong to, yes, another WWE tag team, that of Sasha Banks and Bayley, and this makes this picture about 10,000 times more interesting now, because there was all that talk in the summer, wasn't it, that Sasha Banks wanted to be released from her WWE contract and allowed to go elsewhere, potentially to AEW, and there's been all that talk that the Revival asked for their releases earlier in the year to leave and go and do their own thing, potentially in AEW, and now some of WWE's most notable want-to-way stars, or alleged want-to-way stars, I should say, of the year 2019 are now pictured hanging out with an AEW tag team around Christmas. Now, little bit of context to this before we get massively carried away with it all. SmackDown was originating from Brooklyn. Private Party apparently lived in Brooklyn, so thus they were hanging out there. It's just what I think is just a load of wrestlers having a very nice time in a city while they're all hanging out, taking that opportunity to catch up with other people from the business, but that's not going to stop me, and that's not going to stop you, and that's certainly not going to stop the internet from going, ah yes, I see they're all going to be leaving WWE very, very soon. It's just one of those. And while we are talking about AEW, we must take a quiet moment to mourn, I think, for the career of the poor young man who got on top of Dustin Runnels and started laying in those punches during that Dark Order segment on this week's episode of Dynamite. Probably a local enhancement talent, probably someone for whom being in front of that crowd was the biggest thing that happened to him in his professional wrestling career, given the instruction of just go down, play along with the angle, don't make yourself the center of attention. Like, you know what? I'll just go in here, I'll just start laying the punch into them while they're doing all the other stuff in the ring. I'll do my job, I'll live my dream, I'll make everybody at home proud. And what happened? He became a living meme. He was putting in punches so bad, so bad, that they have become a viral sensation on the internet. He could not have been further away from hitting Dustin Runnels if he'd been outside of the goddamn ring. They're just, I don't even know how to describe them to you. They don't even look punchy. Like, you can still lay in and miss. That happens in wrestling a lot, but to just do that, it looked like he had a broken arm. It was really, really bad. Anyway, in a now deleted tweet, the fact that it's deleted is probably the most important thing here. Dustin Rhodes said that it is almost 2020 and I am embarrassed at what I just saw in the great business that I still protect to this day. Please learn how to punch, or better yet, come to my class that I hold weekly and I will teach you. Jesus, I mean, Randy Orton's laid into this guy, loads of other wrestlers have laid into him. The Young Bucks have deleted their Twitter account. I don't know if that's got anything to do with this, but this poor creeper on the biggest platform of his career, on probably the biggest night of his life, has now made himself probably slightly unhireable, unless they want to work in an angle where he was deliberately trying to protect him and didn't want to hit him, and in fact he was working behind the scenes. They could do a whole thing with it, but hey, enhancement talent, remember how you were so bad that you've become a thing? Well, we're gonna make you a star now instead. When was the last time that happened? Ellsworth, I think, something like that. Anyway, speaking of WWE creative mistakes, James Ellsworth there, Kurt Angle has taken to Twitter today to heap a bit of good news, heap some congratulations on a close friend of his. That's right, his son, Jason Jordan, is going to be a father, and Kurt Angle could not resist the temptation to pass on his congratulations. He says, "Congrats to my first son at Jason Jordan on the great news that he and his wife are having a baby girl. No offense, but I hope she looks like her mom and not like us. Are you going to name her after me? Kurtina, just a suggestion. Regardless, I'm proud to be an expecting grandpa." Now, while that is notable for being the first social media communication Kurt Angle has done in 15 years that doesn't include the words, "It's true," the fact that he's still going with this gimmick, the fact that he's still insisting he is Jason Jordan's son it's not only a Christmas miracle, it's one of the most heartwarming things I think I have ever seen. It was such a bad angle. It went absolutely nowhere, sadly, because obviously of Jason Jordan's injury, but the fact that they are still doing this. They did a thing on the network not so long ago where they watched a match together as father and son in character the whole way through. And just that line, I hope she looks like her mom and not like us. You don't look alike, guys. You don't even look anywhere near each other. So that's really nice. If you're going to call him Kurtina, True, I've just watched Watchmen, and there was a girl in that called True. So, look, that would be the gimmick. Hello, this is my daughter, Kurt Angle's granddaughter. It's True. Eh? That's the best. Look. All right, you try doing a news video on your own and getting it at 10 minutes. Anyway, let us know what you made of it all in the comments below, and of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, this has been immensely difficult. I don't actually know how to do the sign off without thanking the person to my right. So I'll do it. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching. It and get. Thank you very much for watching. Where can they find you on Twitter? They can get me at Adam Clery, Clery. Where can they get you? I am also at Adam Clery, Clery. The entire What Culture Wrestling family available to you at What Culture WWE. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. I have, of course, been Adam Clery. This has been the news with just me, and we'll never do this again. Goodbye.